typical barbecue lid's a process where the castings are all the molds, all the tooling is done up, and it's just cookie cutter. It's bang, 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 bang. When it's all done, it goes through an assembly line that can be very long. It's an assembly line. And these guys are putting caps on, screws together, and there's your lid process. This process here, we take 3 pieces of stainless steel, we weld it all together. When you're finished welding metal, you know what an ugly mess it is. It looks disgusting. We also tape off this line here, and we hand polish this, literally hand polish those marks on there, okay? That's just for an attraction. It's aesthetically pleasing to people. When we're done that, this lid looks like it should have been binned. Like it's the masking tape, because of the heat from the polishing equipment and all that, it just looks really, really ugly and disgusting. Then we get our crew in that does all the cleanup and the finishing, polishing part of it. So making a lid like this is quite a process. You've got a welder involved and a polisher involved, and then you have a cleaning person involved in the process. 3 people just to make a lid, okay? When we get to that next stage, we add another layer inside, and most of us know what this layer is for. It's not to make it be more insulated. It doesn't help with the heat process. It has a factor because there's a dead air space, but that wasn't the purpose. Any barbecue you see that has that inner shielding, it's just to protect the coloration of the stainless steel. If you go into your colored products and the stuff you carry, they generally won't put another shield inside, but we use stainless steel inside. So that's on the inner lid. Down in this area, we actually, our rear lid, we could rivet it together. There are some high-end companies in stainless steel that actually rivet their stuff together on the inner side. We actually weld this together and polish out as well. Getting down into our next stage is this type of burner for rotisserie cooking. Generally, you'll see that type of burner in any grill that's over $2,000 in stainless steel specifically. Weber starts introducing it at around their $2,500 Summit series. We find that this system works best. Those that have been doing it for 15, 20 years in the high-end grill market know that this system works best in inclement weather when you've got some wind happening. There's less chance of the wind blowing off the flame, which decreases the heat when you start losing BTUs through the flame loss. They use a system where it's a diffuser in front of a tube burner, okay? That's not horrible, but it's not the best solution for outdoor cooking with rotisserie. When you put a burner up above the oven area, you expose it to wind. So this is what you're going to hear from people sometimes say to you. If you start showing them rotisseries and different things, I'm going to tell you Napoleon does a decent job most of the time, but there are challenges because of the styling and the way that's built. You'll get somebody to say, well, I don't need a rotisserie. I had one before, and you know what? You put the chicken on. It took us 2 hours to the chicken. We went through 2 bottles of wine. We finally had to take the bird or the roast off. We had to go inside, put it in the oven for 45 minutes. We finished it there, and then we had our fun. So we used it 3 or 4 times. We had the same results. We stopped using it. And so we don't think we need one. And what you can challenge them with is say, look, this is a different system. This is something, if you've ever been to Mexico or you've gone downtown and had a shawarma sandwich, you know, those big chunks of pork or chicken that are on there, that's the burner they use, whether it's indoor or outdoor. Because it's got that 1,000-degree radiant heat coming off those ceramic pads, and it's very seldom interrupted. So you get constantly where the juices are drawing out of the meat, and every time the juices come to the surface, that high heat sears it to the surface of the meat. It doesn't lock the juice in, because you'll always see juices keep coming. The only time that you don't see juices running is when you've dried the piece of meat out. So as juices keep coming, people would call it self-basting. The juice wants to run over the roast or the chicken as it's turning, and then it keeps caramelizing, which is a nice thing. You want that crispiness. That's what you can do with something.